Hello, welcome to Health Tips with Valerie. So, I just wanted to talk a little bit about food and nutrition today. We can heal a lot of things with the Rick Simpson oil, but when it comes down to it, prevention is the best medicine. And even when you're taking the Rick Simpson oil, it's really good to have a healthy diet. Now, in the world we live in today, like over half the population is medically obese, especially in America. And the thing is, most of those people will tell you that they eat healthy. And the problem is, most people don't really know what eating healthy really is. Recently, I found that even though everybody thought that I ate really healthy because I did an all-organic diet, I was kind of eating a lot of organic junk food and mainly sticking to just grains and proteins and neglecting a lot of vegetables. And I found that just by cutting out gluten, cane sugar, all cane sugar, anything with cane sugar, and upping my vegetable intake, I lost quite a few pounds. And I feel a lot better. And I found that eating whole foods is the way to go. Going for more of a plant-based diet, eating whole foods, all organic, and making your own things like kefir, sauerkraut, all these things, really easy to make. And I'm going to probably post some videos on how to make a lot of those easy to make foods that are good for your gut health. Because our gut health is actually something that a lot of diseases stem from. And it's really important to be feeding our body the things that is going to help it all work properly, encourage that good bacteria, not kill everything in there. So, yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know eating healthy really matters. I mean, and even from a biblical perspective, the Bible has a lot of chapters that are solely dedicated to food and what we put in our bodies and the importance of it. And I know that everybody likes to say we're free to do what we want now because, Christ came and abolished this and that. Well, but he didn't come to abolish the law, he came to fulfill it. But really, sacrifices and all that are done away with. But when it comes down to the foods listed in Leviticus that we shouldn't eat, if you look on a scientific perspective, all those foods are highly toxic. And the thing is, God is the same today, tomorrow, and all the time. He doesn't change. And he said not to eat those foods because they were bad for us. And they're still bad for us. I mean, who knew? God knew. So if we were to really just kind of base our diets on a biblical perspective and ate the things that are considered food and didn't eat the things that weren't considered food, that would be a great increase in your health as well. But even when it came to like the Daniel diet, people talk about, Daniel and his friends ate all these vegetables and the other men just ate, the meat and the delicacies and all the crap that was like the rich people had. And they didn't look near as good as the ones that just ate vegetables. So really it's a matter of getting back to basics. I mean, you can have an apple, a bowl of applesauce, and then a cup of apple juice. And you think, well, they're all apples, so they're all good for me, right? Well, the thing is, your body processes the whole apple properly. When you eat it, it takes the sugars in and everything, and it distributes it in a way that's good for your body. It's not an overload. But once you process it in applesauce and you cook it, it causes your body to go into shock, like with the overload of sweet. Like the sugar content and everything is so increased in it. I mean, just the natural sugar content, what that does to you. So eating the raw whole foods is really the way to go when we're picking our foods. I mean, raw milk, raw vegetables. I have heard of people eating raw meat, but I like to cook my meat. I pretty much stick to chicken and fish. I find those ones do the least harm as far as, trying to be on a more healthy whole foods diet. The beef, even though it is listed in Leviticus as good to eat, it's really hard on a lot of people's livers and in your bodies in general, the red meat. Plus, I have compassion for the cows, but that's just me. So just when you're eating nutritionally, if you're fighting a disease or you're going through anything in your life where you feel like the doctors can't help you, eating what you eat makes a huge difference. I mean, recently my daughter went through this horrible ear infection, bronchitis. We tried everything, wasn't working, went to the doctors, took antibiotics, even though I hate doing things like that. I'm not opposed to trying it when all else fails that I can think of. And found out she's allergic to all the antibiotics, and it just kind of reminded me where the doctors were at, because after we found out she was allergic to all the antibiotics, the doctor was just like, oh, well, there's nothing I could do for you. Bye. So, I mean, that's kind of where they stop. I mean, when it comes to, if they can't think of a drug to prescribe you, they're just kind of done. So I went to my sister, who is a nutritional therapist and has loads of detailed information on how to heal a natural. Sometimes it's hard for me to all take in. But I was like, okay, let's do this. She gave me just natural supplements, started juicing vegetables and apples and green leafy things with ginger, and giving her homemade sauerkraut, probiotic filled yogurt, making kefir, all these things. And now she's doing better. All the side effects from the drugs have worn off, the negative things. Now she's starting to feel better. She's starting to heal. And that's from just changing her diet and getting her to eat more of the good stuff that normally kids don't want to eat. But since we've switched to eating more whole foods and more vegetables, all my children have even noticed a difference in their health. Like, they feel better. They have more energy. And you will too if you switch to just more whole foods, more vegetables. I can't stress that enough. Like nutrition. I mean, chicken and dairy, if you don't have a sensitivity, they can be good, but really we need a lot more of a plant-based diet. Too many of us just kind of eat grains and meat and the proteins from dairy, and we just totally omit vegetables, and we feel like we're eating healthy, but we're actually not. So I would just like to encourage everyone to eat more whole food, organic vegetables, and you'll see and feel a difference in your health. I'm just trying to make the foods ourselves, not always just buy everything if it's in a box or a bag. It's probably not really good. Plus, when you buy at the farmer's market, you're supporting your local farmers. So there's a little tutorial that I just wanted to share on health and nutrition, fighting diseases. Vegan's the way to go. All whole foods, not fighting diseases. You could probably have some protein and be fine, but we want a lot more of that plant in our diets. It should be like 90% plant-based diet and then 10% of the other stuff, but we need that. That's what our bodies were designed for. That's what they need. So, hope that was helpful to anyone who might be struggling in any areas or wondering what healthy eating looked like. That's it. And if we just really wrote down all the vegetables we were eating, we might find ourselves shocked and we're not really eating healthy. And we think we are. But yeah, that's eating healthy. Vegetables, A+, meat and dairy kind of are on the F side, but you could squeeze that in there. I mean, it's not terribly bad for you if you're not fighting a chronic illness, but if you are, I don't know why it would even be a battle. Like, do I want to live or do I want to shove my face with this food that tastes good? I would rather live personally, but I know it's a struggle. Some people, when we all have our different vices, but God knew. It's like the oldest sin in the book, food. Eat it. You won't surely die. And everybody laughs about it, but it's an epidemic in America. It's something that is serious. It's something I hope the church will wake up to. The importance of filling our temples, these bodies that the Spirit of the living God live in, with things that are good. And choosing, to make those, to do the good we ought to do, instead of choosing just to live for our flesh and the pleasures of it, knowing that this thing that we're putting in it is going to ultimately kill us and bring disease. So it's a matter of self-control and discipline. And there's my 2 cents. Okay, goodbye.